Hello, viewers. Welcome to Things to Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development for today's terms only. The investment talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. First, want to say happy Monday, everybody. Hope a great weekend, by the way. Respect to recording time of 8:39 a.m. on Eastern Time. Ethereum currently trading $3,230, down about 0.83% so far. With respect to the overall crypto market, it's relatively flat again. Besides Solana, it's currently down close to about 10% so far, trading at the $161, down about 9.34%, while XRP is down about 3.72% as well. Obviously, the altcoin or the smaller coins with smaller market caps are more, vulnerable into volatility. So I would say, relatively across the spectrum of, the altcoin market is relatively flat, besides Solana, obviously, the corrections that we've been discussing for quite some time now, right? And just to take a look at this real quick, apologies. With respect to these surge that we've experienced, the 300% gains that we have experienced per CNBC's article, that have been, regurgitating on a several times during this weekend, heading from the $69 mark to 215. It seems that we are enduring some red pressure at the moment ever since the balloon popping. I would say the balloon pop technically on the 9th of September, right? And you could see that we are currently forming a death cross right now. You could see that the yellow line, or the orange line, if you may, the MACD line is crossing down with the signal line. Also, on top of the fact that RSI is slowly crossing down the equator line, which is something we have been talking about, right? The next level is technically going to go down to 145, which is the level that we'll hover a little bit. And I think we try to get there a little bit today. You see the little mini candle that I'm pointing at. Hopefully, I'm not covering this. And you could see that we try to get there, but subsequently rebound to $160 at the moment right now. But we know this is not a level that's sustainable because we don't have any platform that can push us further back up, right? Also on the XRP, just to do a high level, I think XRP is a relatively good level to buy at right now. Like $1 is always a good level to buy at, right? Per our technical analysis, we have a lot of consolidation zones around the $1 mark, right? Or the $1.10 mark, right? But if we break that, we have a relatively large leap down, which is the next level, the 78 cents or the 69. I think 69 would be a really, really nice level to buy at. And I think technically that should be the technical bottom in the near future if we actually sell off from there, right? So Cardano, more sideways fashions. I think there's a large gap that needs to be filled. So I'll probably weigh off a little bit. 187, 145 would be more optimal level. But for me, I'm just going to be even more patient, right? I think 134, 119 would be better. Because we do have a relatively large gap. And I think the curvature is still going to lean down a little bit more because RSI will still have a little bit more depletion to go down to the 35 on the RSI scale with the 47.45 at the moment. So I'll be a little bit more patient. And I hope that if we crash down and break this gap and go back to the $2 mark, I think I'll start buying at $2 mark, which is not a bad level to buy at for Cardano. So with respect to Dogecoin, again, I think Dogecoin is a great investment opportunity at the moment. RSI is at that 37.08, so it's a good level, right? Which is something that we appreciate, and also on top of the fact the MACD is slowly crossing back up. So I think Dogecoin is a relatively bullish setup at the moment, right? Despite obviously the negative media affectation and the lack there of reputation for Dogecoin as well, right? So Ethereum. So going back to it, we collecting the news, right? In addition to the news, I want to give you guys a heads up on the CPI report that's expected to come out tomorrow, right? And I looked up on the Bureau of Labor Statistics website this morning, that with respect to the August 2021 reference month for the CPI report is coming out at exactly 8:30 a.m. on the Eastern time on September 14th, which is tomorrow if you look at the calendar, right? So contingent on how the report's going to come out, if it's a really positive report, right? Indicating that the economy is slowly recovering back up, that the purchasing activities is normalizing back to like the normal days back in the day. We will see obviously some buying pressure across the equity market, indicating that the companies in the U.S. are reviving, right, to back to a normal cadence. And with that affectation, it should drive some negative correlations to the crypto market, knowing the fact that it's more known to be, or characterized as more known to be, like a safe haven type of investment vehicle, like gold, like silver, if you may, right? So something we have to be mindful of. We do, hope that the report should come out positively, because long-term wise, we need to understand the inflationary pressure and how that would triangulate into the job numbers, and how that would triangulate into the asset purchasing activities that the Feds will have the $120 billion of bond purchasing on a monthly basis, aka the tapering plan, right? So something we have to be mindful of. And on the news side, I would say, relatively, just a bunch of non-substantive news, again, more regurgitation news, talk about just like quoting numbers, if you may, right? And just want to quickly high-level cap on those. So Decrypt 3 hours ago talking about with respect to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Cardano down double digits in the past week, which is something we have seen already, so no need to really mention this. This is something we have been screaming on a technical front for a while now. And then another one, with respect to Bazinga, talk about Cardano as the smart contracts go live. As you saw that Cardano recently went live, right, and subsequently drive some buying pressure. The typical anticipatory pressure, buy the rumors, sell the news type of affectation, right? So we already covered technical on the Cardano front, so no need to go through that again. But again, Cardano, it seems like the ideal dollar cost average level should be coming based on the setup at the moment right now, but not at the current level. And another one from Bazinga again. Bazinga has just been killing it this weekend and also on this Monday. 8 hours ago, talk about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Ethereum turns red again, but these altcoins are on the tear today. So another just position news, talk about price level of volatility. So nothing really substantive, right? Just another regurgitation news reminding us what we have already known already. So another one, Bazinga, again, seems like Bazinga is the only publication company that's been extremely hardworking this weekend, so busy bee for Bazinga. So with respect to Bitcoin, their analyst talks about Bitcoin to hit $150,000, Ethereum to hit 10K, oh not 10K, 10x from here. So which technically translates that Ethereum should technically reach $32,000 in the next 3 to 5 years. So another speculative insight that we, feel free to take a read, but it's just more of projection based on their point of view, but nothing really substantive based on what I've seen so far in terms of their research. It's just more of a technical how that triangulates with the macro adoptions going forward. So interesting to read, but nothing really, want to take that, completely on face value. Just take that with a grain of salt, right? So going back to the technicals, so we know, just like to keep tracks of the historicals, we surged up from the London, from the B Word Summit from the 17th, 18th at the bottom, all the way to the $4,028 level, and we know that we're currently at the anxiety stage and the probably early denial phase at the same time. We sold off one red candle by the whales. We know they bought at the 2,750, 2,450, so they decided to take some profit. They also took another big profit, right? People like just like being shaked off the tree, if you may. And now we kind of hover on a sideways fashion, right? Down about 1% so far, ahead of the CPI report that's coming out tomorrow, right? So right now we are on a MACD perspective, right? We are not really forming any curvature at the moment. We are just like, it seems like we are actually forming a negative curvature, so shifting even further downward. So I think a good level to dollar cost average at would be close to $3,158, which I think we actually got there early this morning when I was like dead asleep at around like 5 o'clock in the morning on the Eastern time. And I think that's a great level to buy at because that's a logical level to buy at, right? It's a logical level to dollar cost average at a consolidation zone, right? However, we know that the RSI is still kind of curving up, right? We still are not the complete oversold level, right? I think, ideally I would be waiting until like the 3,000 again, right? If we get lucky again, 2,750, 2,450, and I think we should get there, right? And technically on the cheat sheet, right, which we use that to remind ourselves, to keep ourselves like just within the sanity spectrum that we need to be mentally, right? That we are in an anxiety and denial stage, right? And we will see these type of oscillation, right? So would tomorrow the CPI report be a catalyst that drive the whole crypto sell-off because we're leaning more of a positive side of the spectrum in the economy? I frankly don't know because I'm not a producer of the numbers. I'm not I don't deal with the statistics on the government front, and nor do I have a crystal ball. But we're in the business of risk mitigation, right? And we know that we are within the frames of reference, between anxiety and denial. We will see some panic coming. Everybody's selling, I need to get out and stuff like that, right? It needs to go through that for us to continue to fluctuate back up to sustain the rally going forward as we go through the depression stage, right? And then we'll start the whole cycle again. But we know that this time the bottoms will be a different level, right? Because the previous bottom was the 1750. New bottom is technically $1,000 above, right? 2,450, 2,750. Or you could start incurring risk at the 3,000. You know what I'm trying to say? But if you bought an above, like let's say you bought at 4,000, just hold 9,800. That's the 12 months price target for me by next year September. But according to other analysts on Bazinga, Citibank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, they have a much larger quote than I do. So I'm being more risk averse again, right? So hopefully this is helpful. Definitely interesting time. Don't be anxious. Don't panic, and don't even be in a self denial phase either. Just stay within the logics, follow the charts, follow fundamentals, and you'll be fine. Hopefully this is helpful, and hopefully you guys have a great rest of the week as well. And you probably see me again later today, but my schedule is relatively busy today. So, but yeah, hopefully this is helpful. Stay tuned for the next come up. Take care.